Hello and welcome to the review of Manchester United taking on Newcastle at Old Trafford. Manchester United have drawn 0-0 at home. Joey, what did you make of that performance today? I mean, Newcastle, especially second half, have been capped in their own half, and we just haven't been able to get that crucial first goal to probably win the game, have we?
It's annoying. It's honestly just like frustrating because there were chances created. It's not like we didn't create chances. It's a combination of really poor finishing, really poor movement in the box too by certain players, and some bad decisions by the referee. Also, Tim Krul had a couple great saves. Colaccini probably played the best game of his career. So I guess it's a combination of all those things. But yeah, it's really, 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 really frustrating because these are the type of games you need to win if you want to be up there challenging. And I've been saying it, with you, I put us third, I think. With the other teams like Chelsea and City going out and spending money, we might be fourth again. It's just frustrating, like I said. Just one of those days where, especially because it's an early game for people in the States, we got to wake up and watch that shit.
Yeah, definitely. Someone in the comments box there is saying that this game proves that Januzaj isn't good enough to start for Manchester United now. I don't know what your thoughts were on the starting lineup. I mean, Januzaj's played now the last 3 matches, and I didn't think he done particularly great today, but obviously Newcastle defended very, very well. But I didn't think Rooney was brilliant either. But I don't know what your thoughts are there on Adnan Januzaj. I mean, I think he should probably be going out on loan now.
Yeah, well, you have to bring players in. I definitely think he needs to be playing every week. I think that's vital to his progression as a young kid in the league. I tweeted out that he had built a reputation for himself because there's a few times where he was fouled, and then he maybe wasn't, but he's not going to get the calls from the referee. The referee was bad, all around today. But Januzaj has built himself a reputation for being a diver. I think he's the most booked player ever for diving. And I don't know if he's, thinking he's going to get the call or if he's really going down, he's that weak. I'm not really sure. But I agree, he shouldn't be starting every week. Okay, other than that lucky deflection against Villa, hasn't been that great to me. He kind of slows things down when he's in the number 10 spot. And he's not quite maybe fast enough to play out in the wing. I just think that there's got to be more pace coming from that right side. Darmian, he has the pace. He's not like world land speed record, but he's a quick player. But Mata, constantly drifting in, and he's not quick enough either. Everybody wants to see Mata play the 10 role, and I'm all right with that. Like, I'd rather see that than Januzaj, to be honest. But I just think we need more pace out wide. You see it on Memphis with Memphis and Shaw. They have a really good, understanding so early into their careers together. They kind of have a partnership, almost like a strike partnership on that wing, where they're making runs off each other. They're always being available for the ball. And I just think we need to find a right winger that has a bit of pace and a bit of trickery. Maybe Mane. Love it to be obviously Gareth Bale or maybe not Muller on the right, but somebody that's better than Mata as a winger. And then I think you could see something. It all stems back to the starting 11 was fine for me. I don't mind Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger starting. I thought Schweinsteiger played well. I just saw a stat that he had the most interceptions today at 4 interceptions. So starting 11, yeah, it's fine. Maybe next game it'll change. I don't think Januzaj start. I'd rather start Hernandez, honestly, than Januzaj. I'd rather start Herrera than Januzaj. I don't understand that. Herrera is probably our best player last quarter of the season. One of them. Fucking guy scores almost 9 Premier League goals, 10 Premier League goals, and he can't even get in the team, get off the bench. It's a joke.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. I would love to see Herrera back in the team, probably at the expense of Januzaj, probably. I know someone there saying that he thinks that Rooney should go. Fred thinks that Rooney should go and that Januzaj's shit. Well, with Wayne Rooney today, he had that chance where he did actually put it in the back of the net that was obviously borderline whether it was offside. I don't know what you made of Rooney's performance today. I think he's still going to be an asset to us this season, but obviously he's brought Hernandez on in the second half, and he's actually had the best chance of especially the second half there, which Tim Krul saved. If he could have dinked it over him, he would have got a goal. Do you think we should put Hernandez up front now and drop Rooney back a bit deeper, or do you think we still have to bring another striker in maybe?
I mean, I think you need to buy a striker, and I think you need to buy a right winger. I think, before I touch on that, I think that with the midfield, Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger or Carrick or whoever it is in that holding midfield, I think that they protected the back four really well. So I don't think the need for a center back is as great as we've all made it out to be, because we still have Rojo, and Blind played well today. Same thing with Smalling. So I'm okay now. I think up front, I think that's the more pressing need. And then, I'd rather see Hernandez on and then Rooney in the 10 if that's the way it's going to go. That's Van Gaal's thinking. I would rather have that than Januzaj there, or, who else played there? I can't even remember who played there the first game of the season. Who was it? Do you remember the first game of the season?
Yeah,
in the 10. Who was in the 10 spot that game?
I think it was Memphis, wasn't it?
That's right. You're right. Thanks. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you see why Memphis has to be out wide. Look, Rooney, Mata, and Herrera should be the right now in this current team, Rooney, Mata, Herrera should be the number 10 options. Not Januzaj, not Memphis, those three. Rooney's only playing up top because we don't have a striker. We don't have one. We have Hernandez, who's a good goal poacher off the bench. And like you said, that's another thing. Tim Krul made an excellent save on that, but if he just lifts it just that much, it's a goal. So that's where a clinical goal scorer, and also I will say for Hernandez, he hasn't been playing a lot, so he's not match fit, match sharp. If he's full fitness, full match sharp, that's a goal. So it's just annoying. It's really annoying. I think they need to buy a striker very soon. The window closes in 8 days, I think now. It's time to put up or shut up. Splash the cash. You got a net spend of £8 million. Go, or whatever it is. Go out and spend big. You're going to have to overpay. That's a reality. That's the reality of the situation. You're going to have to overpay for players. Like I've been saying, teams don't have to sell. They're not in financial burden. Players don't want to move. Money is the biggest motivator. Splashing.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I personally think that Louis van Gaal was a bit of an idiot leaving it till this late, and the fact that we've let players go as in Falcao and Van Persie and haven't brought a replacement in. I mean, I don't mind them both leaving the club as long as a replacement had already come in. That's where I think the problem is. I don't know if you're...
I want to just go back to your original question, too, with Rooney. I thought Rooney started really well, started great. Then, through the middle of the game, kind of disappeared. And then when he dropped into the 10 role, he kind of, got back into the game. But he was drifting in and out of the game. It's so unfortunate. This fucking same referee, I think it's the same linesman or the same referee with the offside call from the fucking Liverpool game. I understand refereeing is a tough job. I don't envy it. I would never want to do it. But that's the nature of it. You're a referee. You're paid to get these decisions right. And you're not getting it right. How hard is it for some fucking technology? You know what I mean? Use technology. We got the goal line technology, and you see how much better that's been. Have live replays or something, because this is fucking ridiculous that we're in 2015 and you can't fucking tell if a player's on. We're trusting an individual, a human who makes mistakes, to fucking judge. And at the end of the day, these decisions can cost someone their job. They can cost a manager his job. They can cost a team. A team could get relegated off of a decision like this. It could happen now. Say Bournemouth. Bournemouth, say at the end of the year, they go down by 1 point or 3 points. Well, then you look back at that decision and that where it could have changed. So it's fucking frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. But I still think we should have easily won this match today. But obviously it's not to be. I mean, they've had most of the possession, Manchester United, especially second half, we've completely capped them in their own half. And I think we're going to have to just write this one off and move on. I mean, we've still got a point out of it. I know a point at home is not a very good result, especially for Manchester United. Obviously, we move on to Swansea next week. Do you see anything changing between now and the next game in terms of forwards being brought in? I would just like to have seen if we were going to get rid of Van Persie and Falcao, just someone to be brought in first before, because I mean it could have been Van Persie coming off the bench today instead of Fernandes, like Fenerbahce had the other day.
Well, look, I saw that goal. I didn't see what was leading up to it, but he was fouling that dude, I think. It was a good header, whatever. Something happened with Van Persie off the field that he left the way he did, so quick, so cheap. Falcao, that's another thing, lost cause. Look, if you can't, I know he's got a board with all his targets up there, and if these first and second choice targets aren't being able to be brought in, you got to bring someone in. You cannot go the season with what we have right now up front. You just fucking can't. It's impossible. To even think that they would, want to do that. Van Gaal's got this year and next year. And like I've been saying, Ed Woodward goes on TV. We can do other things in the transfer market other clubs can't. Well, show us. You did it last year and it didn't really work. You went for superstars and, obviously Di Maria's situation, he never really wanted to be here. Falcao coming off the injury. I appreciate the ambition, but there's other players out there now. You got to splash the cash. You got to go out and buy. I don't think you're going to get a Gareth Bale, but throw 105 million plus David De Gea. You're going to lose him anyway. You're going to lose him. I would rather you fucking just try and get Gareth Bale or something. I know I'm fucking ranting about it, but a winger is needed and a striker is needed. I probably would say if you can get a goal-scoring winger, then you can get a Berahino, a Charlie Austin up top. I wouldn't mind that. But, yeah. What was the original question? I'm sorry, I kind of went on a rant.
Well, yeah, basically you've pretty much answered. I mean, a few of the comments in there are talking about Berahino and Charlie Austin as being potential players to come in, but I think we just need to go out and really splash the cash on a world star like a Thomas Muller. I mean, I think we really do need to go out there and make a statement of intent, because these last few days, a lot of fans have been saying that Manchester United can't bring in the top players anymore, can't bring in the likes of Pedro and Otamendi, who most people think that they've chosen other clubs obviously over us. But
well, if you look
we're never going to know the full story, are we? But I think we do need to go for Bale and them sort of players. I really do. Even if we don't get them, we've got to be trying to get some of them in.
Yeah, well, if you look at the Manchester Evening News or whatever it is, the men paper, they said we were never in for Otamendi. They've been saying it for fucking months. So I don't know why people get all worked up and say that we're not, that we lost out on him or he snubbed us. They said it in July that we weren't in for him. So I'm not worried about that. Pedro, I honestly, I believe LVG. He's all, he said, it's a fucking easy deal. He's got a buyout clause. I'll just pay it. It could have been done weeks ago. But they must have maybe they got hope on a Muller, There's got to be a reason. But I hope these next 8 days go something more like last season than the year before when we bought Fellaini on deadline day, because that was a disaster. It's a big 8 days for us in the transfer market in terms of how from now till the next one's going to go. Players don't really traditionally move in January. Mata being one of the biggest ones. So, I think with LVG's style today, I think that, a lot of people were upset at that too, I would like to say. You saw times where we were breaking to the goal, maybe 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, and then they kind of slow it down at the edge of the box, and people don't want to see that. We want to see attacking football. And I think in Van Gaal's system, we saw it against Tottenham, Liverpool. He kind of let the leash off, let the chain off, let him off the chain. After Leicester, we won 5-3 last. We were playing decent attacking football. We scored 3 goals. Obviously defense, whatever. Then he kind of didn't trust the defense and locked up shop, and then he let them off the leash again towards the end of the season. It's frustrating because Newcastle at home, you should be winning. You've got to be winning. They could have been relegated last year. Probably should have been. And they created 2 of the best 4 chances, you would say, off that counterattack, and Mitrovic hit the hit the crossbar. So we could have easily lost this game. It's just frustrating. Obviously it just ended. Usually we do a review a little later, and you got time to think and cool down. But it's just annoying because we want to be winning the league. Our ambition. We're not Arsenal. Our ambition isn't to get in the top 4. It's to win titles. So with this current team, it's a very good team. It's got very good depth in the middle. It's got some nice attacking pieces. It just needs that much more. That much more. And you got to, as Jose would say, a fine racehorse. We're a little horse.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm starting to think we don't need too many players to make this team really go at it for the title. I mean, so far our defense has been pretty decent so far this season. I know we haven't really come up against any top teams so far, but even last season we were conceding a lot of chances, even to teams like Aston Villa. So that is actually a bit pleasing to see. So I think if we, like as you said, with the Gareth Bale, just offer the 100 million and De Gea, if they really want De Gea that much, then they have to think about it. I mean, I can't for the life of me seeing Gareth Bale coming to Manchester United, but they really do want De Gea, it seems. And if we really want Gareth Bale, I mean, we really do need some forwards. I mean, I think it was last season we went in the Premier League. I think it was 8 or 9 Premier League matches where we failed to score in, which for Manchester United that is actually awful statistics. So I still think we do need a real goal scorer up front, but we're going to have to. It will remain to be seen who that is that comes in. I mean, I don't know who your man of the match was today. I mean, probably for me,
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw. Yeah, I think Memphis still looked decent. I mean,
he did, but the thing is, you could see him getting frustrated. He kind of made a few errors. Sloppy passes. A couple times maybe he should have passed, but I'm all right with that. That's that greedy, goal scoring winger. I like that. Shaw, I thought was excellent today. Again, Darmian defending was fine. Smalling, nobody had a terrible game except for maybe Rooney and Januzaj. I just wanted to touch on one of the comments. I think it was Fred Jones, yeah, and he was talking about Benzema, and I was saying, why would Madrid sell him to Arsenal when they could get just as much money out of us and De Gea? You know what I mean? And talking player wages, the player would probably rather live in London, but he'd get paid more in Manchester and probably almost complete the forward line if you get Mane, and that'd be insane. So I think Benzema is a real shout. We tried getting him under Ferguson when he was at Lyon. So yeah, it's a good comment from Fred. There's been some great comments in there as well. Thanks to everybody who's watching. They're talking about Januzaj now. I thought Januzaj, he was shit. I thought he was terrible. I don't think, I think he's not. Look, you saw he can't hold the ball up. So then he tries to shield it and get fouled. Sometimes he doesn't get that call because he's got a reputation. He's not, he's not ready, I don't think, to be an everyday starter. It's Newcastle. I wouldn't start him against a City. And there's another comment I want to talk about. He said City we're so far behind them. And if you look at their front 4 with possible Kevin De Bruyne coming in, that whole team is sick. You know what I mean? Sterling, Silva, De Bruyne behind Aguero. They're going to score a shit ton of goals. Torre, Fernandinho with Fernando for depth and Delph. They bought really well. Now, why aren't we going after De Bruyne? You know what I mean? Why are we letting him go to fucking City? Especially, they got Otamendi. De Bruyne is a good player. It's the type of players we should be buying. We shouldn't be letting him go to City. Don't, if anything, he not only he attack, but you take him away from your rival. I just feel like, and then Pedro going to Chelsea, it's just annoying. So I'm just going to sit back and watch. I try not to be negative or have a moan, but I want to see us moving on in the transfer market this week and doing something big, real big. Got that Adidas money, splash it.
Yeah, I think if another big name doesn't come in, I personally think that Ed Woodward's going to come under a huge amount of criticism for what's happened with this Pedro deal. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I mean, I was pleased when we did make the other signings, the Schneidlin, the Schweinsteiger.
We've done fantastic in the transfer market so far.
but we need to improve on that and finish the job off, I think, and just bringing that forward and obviously that winger. I think we can probably make do just about with the centre back options that we've got. I mean, it's not ideal, obviously, but if it means getting a Gareth Bale or a Thomas Muller in, I would definitely accept it, because we definitely need to be scoring more goals. I mean, against obviously Club Brugge, they had quite a few players injured, so that they were a lot weaker. But obviously now we're going to have Swansea up next. We're going to have to see what happens there.
That's away too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's away, so that's going to be a really difficult match going there. But hopefully we're going to see some improvement in the transfer market from the last few days there. I don't know if you've got any more thoughts you want to add on this Newcastle game before.
No, if everybody could just chuck a like on the video, it'd mean a lot. Thanks for watching. My final thoughts are: it's never as bad as it seems. You know, it's 3 clean sheets in a row. The defense looks okay. You know, I have faith in what's happening. I think they're going to play. I can't understand why they're leaving it this late. That's probably the most annoying part. But I have faith in them that they're going to bring in players. So Lewis Van Hall says, "Club were unlucky not to score today. We can be satisfied with the performance." Yeah, the performance was all right. The finishing was fucking whack. Firing blanks over there. Nothing. Like a fucking 12-year-old. Gotta get better at finishing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you said there with the transfer situation, and we're leaving it too late, it looks like most of the teams now, I mean, Manchester City already had a really good core of the team and didn't really need to bring in that many players. But Chelsea as well are leaving it late with bringing in probably John Stones and 1 or 2 others. And I mean, Arsenal have only still signed Petr Cech so far. So, I mean, there's still a lot for clubs to do. I can see probably the next week.
We should go after Stones.
Well, yeah. But I think we're going to see some big transfers happening in the Premier League over the next week or so.
I do
possibly
too.
It could mean sort of one player leaves the club and then it all snowballs and 3 or 4.
That's how it tends to happen. I think not just the top teams are going to spend. I think the Southampton might spend. Tottenham need another striker. They're looking at Berahino. You're right. I think once a big player moves, then it's just going to go and go. Agents are going to be real busy this week. I agree. I think because there has not been a lot of movement this window. You know, we did our business and stuff like that, but in terms of big name players, nope. You know, Bales, your Ronaldos. Well, Ronaldo probably never. You know, your Benzemas, your Cavani. Yeah. What would you do if they brought in fucking Big Nose Ibrahimovic? That'd be some shit. I don't even know what the fuck. I would probably fucking smack myself to make sure I was reading the headline right. But like I'm saying, players like that, Pogba, you know, Chelsea are linked with Paul Pogba, and they got some nice bargaining chips. They got money, Oscar, and Cuadrado. Chelsea get Pogba. What the fuck are we gonna do? You know what I mean? How do you compete with shit like that?
Well, I mean, there's only so many world-class quality players in the world that we can actually go out and realistically buy, because obviously the likes of Messi and Ronaldo aren't going to come to Manchester United, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks to everyone for watching this video. As Joey said, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Follow us both on Twitter, Daniel H1558, and obviously Joey at Joey Tabor. We always talk on there and discuss all things Manchester United. And we'll probably be back in the week to review the second leg against Club Brugge. Hopefully we'll see that one off and then move on to Swansea away next weekend, which is going to be a difficult game. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you all soon.